Mary the Bloody, one of the most feared women in history. Mary Tudor, also known as Mary the First or Mary the Bloody, was born on February 18, 1516, and was Queen of England and Ireland from 1553 to 1558, being the first woman to rule England. Mary the First was Queen of England and Queen of Ireland from July 6, 1553, de facto, or July 19, 1553, de jure, until her death on November 17, 1558. Mary was the fourth monarch of the Tudor dynasty, after the uncrowned Queen Lady Jane Grey and the predecessor of Queen Elizabeth I. Mary Tudor is mainly known for the brief restoration of Catholicism in England. However, she's also known for the cruelty she showed during her reign, when she ordered the persecution of Protestants. By the end of her reign, Mary I had executed approximately 300 religious opponents. As a result, she was nicknamed Bloody Mary. Mary was the only surviving child of King Henry VIII and his first wife Catherine of Aragon. She was a precocious child, and much of her early education was provided by her mother, who taught her Latin. Mary also studied Greek, the sciences, and music. Mary won the throne against all odds, preserving the line of succession in the dynasty and setting a precedent for the coronation of a woman. Mary was not destined to become queen. Her father, Henry VIII, tried his best to prevent her from inheriting the throne. However, he eventually recognized his daughter's claim to the throne. However, Mary's brother Edward ignored his father's will. Determined to preserve and defend English Protestantism, Edward removed his Catholic sister from the succession. Upon Edward's death in July 1533, Lady Jane Grey was proclaimed queen at the age of just 16. 10 days later, Mary was able to gather an army and enter London. Queen Jane was accused of treason, and Mary succeeded in seizing the throne. 6 months later, Jane was executed by beheading on Mary's orders. She was the only Tudor monarch, with the exception of Henry VII, the founder of the dynasty, who had to fight for the throne. The status of a queen regnant was defined in a special act of parliament passed in April 1554. It was decided that the reign of a woman become legally equal to that of a man. Thus, in statute, ceremony, and ritual, Mary took over all the formalities of the court and adapted them for the reign of a woman. Until then, there was no guide for crowning a woman as sole sovereign. But Mary ensured that after the coronation, she would be invested with all the power exercised by her ancestors, without exception. Mary won the throne by fighting, and the army strictly carried out her orders. Mary's reign is best known for the burning of almost 300 Protestants, men, women, and children. The ultimate goal was to re-Catholicize England. Although it seems and indeed is a barbaric act, burning at the stake in the name of religion was not uncommon in those days. Heresy was considered an infection that had to be removed before the poison spread through society. Therefore, the punishment for heresy was not simply death. The aim was to completely destroy the heretic's body, lest his remains be used by other heretics as relics. Thus, heretics were burned at the stake, and their ashes were thrown into rivers. Mary Tudor was a controversial queen, with a negative reputation due to the persecution of Protestants and executions during her reign. However, she also had notable achievements, such as concluding an alliance with Spain and fighting to reintroduce Catholicism to England. If the Queen had lived longer or had managed to produce a Catholic successor, England would probably have been re-Catholicized, and Mary Tudor will be known today as Holy Mary and not Bloody Mary.